I was intensively studying blockchain and crypto for, 2 years. Talking about crypto and blockchain is difficult as it is in English, but doing it Chinese,
that's a completely different world.
I mean, 区块链, 加密货币, 交易所, like, okay, what are all these words? I had no idea.
想知道更多来宾学英文的有趣经历吗？敬请锁定每周三 NG 英文。
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Haoen.Hello,
大家好，欢迎各位再度来到 NG 英文，我是 Angela.
We have a great episode for you today with my good friend Martin, who is known around the Taiwanese community as 方马丁。
是的，今天我们同样再度邀请到2年前就来上过节目的瑞典方马丁，回来跟大家做个 update。好，来跟各位聊聊他过去这2年做哪些值得分享的事情嘞。
My guest today is joining the show for a second time. He is Swedish but has been living in Taiwan for quite some time now. He is an actor, entertainer, crypto lover, blockchain enthusiast, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome my good friend Martin.
Woo. Thank you.
Boom.
Good to see you.
Bro, it has been almost 2 years since you were the second guest on this show.
That long, eh?
Can you believe it?
Oof.
Man, it's crazy. So welcome back to NG Ingwen. Man, your life has exponentially changed since we had you on the show last. Lots of struggles, lots of things you've had to overcome, but I'm so proud of you, and you are now in an incredible new place. You are deep diving, straight up scuba diving into cryptocurrency now, blockchain, and the whole space of that. So first of all, how are you? Can you give a little update on your life to our audience?
Absolutely. Well, I'm doing fantastic. As you mentioned, I've got into crypto, and as we all know, crypto's been going pretty good recently. So that's pretty much where I've been putting all of my attention since we last were here 2 years ago. That's when I really started diving into crypto. I think it was in the beginning of around 2019. That I really dove into it, and that's where I've been spending 24 hours a day, basically reading, researching, and working my way into blockchain and crypto.
Yeah, man. When you get interested in something, you have such a beautiful mind. You go deep, and you learn as much as you can, and then what I even love more about you is you love to share it, and you love to talk and discuss and check how you understand something. So how about let's begin with kind of, to you, what is blockchain and cryptocurrency?
Ooh, that's a very broad question. I would say, number one, you really need to understand blockchain technology and what this technology really means for the future. When you say blockchain is basically just a technology of having a distributed ledger, a distributed way of preserving data, information in a way that is immutable, that no one can change it, no one can forge it, and it's shared by everyone. And this technology has so many use cases. The first use case, of course, is Bitcoin. Bitcoin was basically the first application of blockchain, but Bitcoin's only use of blockchain is a way to store these transactions. That's why Bitcoin is primarily used as a store of value, and it's used for transactions, and it's called digital money. But blockchain extends so much further than that, because what you can do with blockchain technology is going to revolutionize how we do our everyday, how we go about our days, how society works, how governments works, how anything in the world basically works. Because this technology allows us to track and make sure that all the information is transparent and it's true. So there's actually a ton of things that you can do with blockchain that extends so much further than just being money and currency. And this is why I usually, the moment for me when I fully realized what blockchain is that when you think of blockchain as the internet. And, back in the early 90s when internet first came out, people were having these 56K dial-up modems, and they were, using it for very limited use cases. And at that time, if someone came to you and said, like, in the future, you're going to be able to watch movies, stream movies to your phone, to book airplane tickets, hotels, go shopping, do all of these things, find apartments, and all of these things. People say you're crazy. Because, with your 56K dial-up modem, you can even download a, small image without having to wait for like 10 minutes. And if someone picks up the phone, hey, sorry, you're gone. Yeah. And that's because in the early 90s, internet wasn't what it is today. Mm-hmm. Internet was just that. It was a very early concept. But as, they get faster, we started having broadband, faster internet services. We have our phones that already, comes with internet on them. And then as you have this basically a mass adoption where everyone starts using it, as everyone starts building things on top of it, that's when you start seeing its true potential. Mm-hmm. And it's the exact same way for blockchain. We are just currently in the 56K modem of blockchain.
Yeah, and I love that. And a lot of the ways I think about this right now is kind of, do you remember in the early days of internet, people just used their computers mostly for email. And a lot of times I think, where blockchain technology is right now is email. All of the other use cases haven't been built on the next layers that will come from that. And I know for a lot of our audience listening, this can sound a little bit complicated, but I really suggest diving in, as much as you can to this concept. Doesn't mean you need to invest in anything or do anything like that, but just becoming curious, because we are not financial advisors.
And there's one really cool thing about blockchain, and it's an article I read a couple of months ago, which is talking about the dystopian futures that are often depicted in movies and books, talking about cyberpunk. And if you think about these dystopian future movies like Blade Runner and all of these, what are these movies? These are basically depicting a dystopian future where the world isn't really ruled by governments and countries anymore. It's all big companies. It's big
corporations,
tech, big corporations. They have all of their, they are controlling the world. They have their own militia, police patrolling around the cities. And when you're looking at the lower class, there's always like the rich, big tech people have all of the money. And then you have the slums where the poor people living. And they still have like robotic arms and cybernetics and, all cool. But they're super poor and they're having very horrible living standards. And one interesting aspect of this is that they were talking about so in all of these dystopian futures, either blockchain was never invented or it just never took off, and they big techs just put it all down, and it's never worked. Because with blockchain technology, you basically take away the power from these big companies, because blockchain promotes something which is called shared responsibility, and it's very apparent nowadays when you have a lot of these blockchains that require everyone that wants to be participating in this to have a certain stake in this. And what that basically means is that everyone needs to do what's best, not just for themselves, but for the entire network, for everyone who's using this, because if they don't, then they will lose out. And so this promotes a shared responsibility where no one can focus on themselves. They always got to focus on what's best for everyone. And this shared responsibility is something that really can take away a lot of these, corruption, about bad things that eventually then turns into big corporations just ruling the world.
Yeah. And that's very interesting. I remember you sharing that article with me. And and that's such a beautiful point too, because the more we share responsibility, like you say, the less monopolies gain more and more power. Yeah, well said.
节目进行到这边，不知道各位记得在刚开始的时候有提到 exponential 这个字吗？不知道大家有没有猜出来是什么意思？如果没有也没关系啦，现在就来告诉你，它通常呢是用来表达指数型的成长。好，所以像刚刚主持人说，马丁他的人生自从上次来节目之后到现在有 exponentially changed。好，就是在说他人生出现了很大的这个正向的改变。好，虽然说过程中遇到了不少困难，但是整体而言是不断进步，不断在往好的方向前进的。那为什么这样说嘞？ 原来是因为啊，他这段时间呢都一直在钻研加密货币跟这个区块链这些相关资料。那就像这样说的，当马丁下定决心要做某件事情之后，就会100%投入时间精力去做到好。那这边讲的这个100%投入，他们用的英文说法是 deep dive into something， 好，或是就直接 dive into something。好，有在潜水的人都应该知道这个字 dive 是潜水嘛，那用在这边的语义里呢，就延伸出一种像马丁这样子深入了解、深入研究某个主题的意思。再来他们讲的这些什么加密货币啦，这个区块链啊，这些的英文说法我们也来练习一下吧，就算没有兴趣我没有兴趣。这个加密货币 cryptocurrency， 那区块链 blockchain。所以到底什么是加密货币嘞？什么是区块链？它就是有一连串重重密码保护的资料记录。好，你要去伪造的话，基本上可以说是比出门不戴口罩还难。这他没有说啦，是我自己加的。就是你很难去篡改啦，所以也就是因为这样子特别的加密科技，让它的应用范围非常广泛。那就现阶段而言呢，最广为人知的套用应用大概就是比特币了吧。各位对比特币应该多少都有听说，就是一种数位货币。那因为区块链这种难以篡改的特性，让它同时也默默变成一个这个记录各个比特币交易记录的账本。虽然说是人人都有权限去查阅记录，但你要改，下半辈子吧。这边他用的一个比喻蛮好笑的，而且我竟然有听懂，这样子不小心泄露我年纪也糟糕。反正呢，他就是说，这个我们可以把目前区块链这样的科技想成是网际网路从以前早期那个网络数据拨号机的那个龟速上网，进步到现在的宽频上网。好，区块链现阶段的应用还不是很普遍，没错，但在将来呢，就会跟宽频跟光纤一样，越来越厉害，越来越普及。生活上跟区块链的结合应用也会越来越广泛。刚刚提到这个篡改伪造，它的英文就是他们先前用到的这个字 forge。 像例如伪造文书、伪造签名，我们可以说这个签名是 a forged signature。 好，或是像电影里面常看到那些假护照啊，就是 a forged passport。 好，那除了刚才讲的这些以外呢，马丁还提到反乌托邦的未来科幻故事。好，就是这所谓的 cyberpunk 赛博朋克，不知道各位有没有听过。但这跟区块链有什么关系嘞？因为啊，这些科幻故事里面常常都是要么完全没有区块链的存在，要么就是有存在，但是嘞都被那些怕权势会被影响的企业集团压制住了，所以没能去好好发展。因为一旦区块链发展起来呢，哇，那大集团他们不但不能进行那些见不得人见不得人的事情，甚至可能反过来被区块链控制住。不过这些也都是科幻小说情节啦，大家听听就好。更详细精辟的那个区块链介绍，听众朋友们还是要自己查资料，自己找专业的咨询比较好哦。好啦，那我们现在就接着继续听访谈下半段的内容，听听马丁给区块链新手入门的一些建议吧。
For someone listening who doesn't really understand blockchain and cryptocurrency, where is a good place to start? Can you share maybe one or two tips and advice with how you could begin to learn more about this space right now?
I would absolutely say that the easiest way to just start getting a little feel of it is to just go on YouTube, maybe search for some videos about blockchain. Just try to grasp a little bit like, what is it and how does it work? Do you understand how it works by having all of this data getting added into one block, and then for the next block all of the previous information plus this new is in it, and it continues in a long chain, which is why it's immutable. As long as you start to understand how blockchain works, and it's not too difficult actually, it's very easy to get a kind of a broad overview of how it works. And once you have a more understanding of how blockchain works, then you can really start listening in on more news and stuff. There's a ton of good news outlets, both in English and Chinese. You have Cointelegraph, which is the biggest one for English-speaking world. And then you have Block Tempo, which is the biggest for Chinese community. So there's a ton of good information and news that you can find by yourself. But aside from that, the most important thing I would say is just to discuss this with your friends. And I'm sure, because as we're seeing now, crypto and blockchain is getting more and more adoption. Everyone is starting to talk about it. And you'll probably have more friends than you know that are already a little bit interested in this and might already be doing a little bit of it. And I think just getting that conversation started, asking someone who potentially knows more than you, or even, teaching it to someone else. Like all of this is it's a beautiful kind of synergy, because when it comes to blockchain and crypto, the more you share it with others, the more it helps yourself as well. And it's just a win-win situation for everyone, and it's something that just really promotes this social responsibility. And I really enjoy talking about blockchain to everyone I meet. It's just like, hey, can we stop a little bit, like not talk that much about crypto?
Yeah, and then sure enough, and then I invite you onto the show to talk about crypto.
Perfect. Giving me more opportunities to talk about it.
Yeah,
love it.
Beautiful, man. Well, great information. I know everyone listening, that can be a lot to unpack and digest right now. But like you said, just begin discussing it, find interests. And what I love that you're doing right now, Martin, is you are creating content right now for VELAS, the VELAS blockchain, and you're doing that in Chinese. So can you share a little bit about what has been the journey now for you as you are learning and diving in English, and then now having to express yourself and share this with the Chinese-speaking communities?
So the story begins with, I found out VELAS also around 1.5 years ago, and I was just sold about it because it's blockchain and merging with AI technology. So that was just fascinating to me. And then the more I started researching about it, and I got active in the community groups and stuff. And then one thing led to the other, and I got an offer to, because they knew that I was speaking Chinese. And so I got an offer of helping them shoot some, promotional videos, not only about VELAS, but about crypto and blockchain in general. And put that out for the Chinese community. I mean, being the entertainer I am,
handsome face.
So I was right on that, and I was like, yes, this is something, because I was already talking so much about VELAS to everyone I met, and now I get to do it on a actual platform in a video format and promoting it to the Chinese community, which I thought was just great. However, the big challenge then came with, I was intensively studying blockchain and crypto for 2 years, and that was difficult as it was doing it in English, because there are so much vocabulary and so many words that you have no idea. Like every time I read an article in English, I would have to what does this mean? And I have to sidetrack and go and see what the meaning was for that word. But now, as I was going to do this in Chinese, that was just even more mind-blowing, because talking about crypto and blockchain is difficult as it is in English. But doing it Chinese, that's a completely different world. I mean, when I started this, I didn't even know about 区块链, 加密货币, 交易所, all of these, exchanges, blockchain. Like, I had no idea, but I had to really get into it. Like, okay, what are all of these words? And then put them together into a script video format. It was a huge challenge. But I really enjoyed it too, because I never really talked. I mean, we're living in Taiwan, and I have tons of Taiwanese friends. Many of them, they don't really speak English. And I love to talk about crypto. And I was never able to do it really with them before, because I could only talk about it in English. But when I started doing these videos, now I had to learn how to do it in Chinese. And that has helped me in, regular life too, because now I can talk about blockchain to my Taiwanese friends, and they are getting more and more interested in that as well. And the more I research this, the more videos I shoot, the more comfortable I become in using Chinese and talking about crypto as well. So that's a win-win as well, I feel.
Yeah, man, and I love that, and I think that's so special, and it's really a beautiful sign too of your level of depth that you try to go to understand this for yourself, and now how you can share it with everyone around you, whether they speak English, Chinese, Swedish maybe in the future as you get your sister on board and everything. But I know we could talk for hours and hours and hours on this. If you could think about maybe the future and what you would want to do within the crypto and blockchain space, and maybe a little bit about language here, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Good question. I mean, looking back 2 years ago and today, I mean, I would say I'm a completely different man. And especially when it comes to blockchain and crypto, the amount of knowledge that I've acquired over these past 2 years. Because like you said, the industry is moving so fast and it's really difficult to keep up with everything that's going on. But for me, because this is something that I see the potential. And, you know, like I said, for you, if you, back in the early 90s, if at that time when internet was so slow and cumbersome, if you could see this future, you could look into the future today where everyone is using it. And at that time, you're having these visions and then you think, okay, so this is where I'm going to focus my energy because this is going to become big. That's when you have real value, right? And I see the same thing in blockchain. So for now, it's almost like I'm so excited about the future because I see all of these possibilities and I just want to, you know, see them come true. So for me, my main point now is just every day, keep reading, keep informed, stay informed, up to date with everything that's happening because it's going fast. And then obviously because I'm doing my videos, so I'm going to keep pushing, you know, improve my my technical knowledge of, you know, blockchain and stuff in Chinese as I'm continuing doing these videos for the Chinese community through VELAS. And also we are doing these live streams too, which are for the Chinese community, which are very interesting. And we usually have some really cool people on the show. We have an upcoming show which is going to have the CEO of VELAS and actually the CEO of Solana. And Solana being the 15th biggest cryptocurrency as of today. So, you know, there's some good people there, and we're going to be speaking mainly in English, but also having many conversations in Chinese at the same time. So, yeah, keep staying informed and work on that blockchain Chinese.
Awesome, brother. I love it. Well, where can people find you online and maybe some of these videos to get informed in Chinese?
So you can follow my Instagram, which is Martin, FERMTW. Or you can also watch these videos that I've already shot for VELAS, and they are all available on VELAS' own YouTube channel. The easiest way to find these videos would just be to type in VELAS, VELAS, and then KYC, which is the name of my show.
Nice. VELAS KYC. Know your crypto.
Know your crypto.
I was like, I think it's good. KYC, yeah, good new vocab there is know your customer. But I like how you got a little play on that with know your crypto. Beautiful, brother. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show. We'll do an update in about 2 years' time and see where you're at.
Oof, in a mansion.
Yeah, who knows? All right, brother. Much love. We'll talk to you soon.
节目听到这边，如果你被马丁讲的有点心动，也想要认识这个区块链的话，那他刚刚讲的建议，不知道你们有没有听到，有没有记下来嘞？首先呢，最简单的就是要上网去看一些相关的介绍影片嘛，对不对？去了解每个区块跟区块之间是怎么运作的。好，那等你有个概念之后，也可以去读一些相关的文章、新闻报道等等。如果你想要读英文版的，想要学区块链的同时也精进英文字汇的话，那可以试试看他推荐的 Cointelegraph 他们家写的文章 Cointelegraph。 或是如果想要读中文版的话， Blocktempo 动区这家的资料马丁个人也是蛮推的。不过说到底，他觉得最好的方法还是找志趣相投的朋友一起分享讨论大家学到的东西，好，一起切磋这个彼此的这个区块知识这样子。因为他觉得这种合作方式啊，最能带给大家一个最大的效益，好，变成一种双赢的局面。哦，对，来，这个双赢的局面，大家刚刚有听出来它的英文说法吗？没错，就是 a win-win situation。这个 win 你知道就是赢嘛，对不对？那 win-win 两个字中间用一个横杠连起来当成形容词，就是我们讲的这个双赢。另外一个字是 synergy。 如果不知道它的意思，今天是你第一次学的话呢，教你一个秘诀，好，也不是什么秘诀，就是一个方法而已。你就把这个字拆成两部分，好，可以看得出来是 syn S-Y-N 跟 energy 这两个字的结合。那字首 syn 它有一起同时的意思啊，那个 energy 就是能量嘛，对不对？所以放在一起 synergy 就产生一种这个团结力量大的概念，也就是刚刚讲的合作。好，你看英文是不是真的蛮有意思的齁？那另外他有提到的一个是最近新出来的叫做 VELAS VLX 的区块链跟加密资产。为什么嘞？因为人家找他去当他们区块链的宣传大使，而且重点是他用中文宣传呢。因为之前不是在钻研那个各种区块链的消息嘛，然后有一次读资料读到一半，发现了 VELAS 这个结合 AI 人工智慧的区块链，让他整个眼睛为之一亮，觉得这也太酷了吧。后来因为可能就有加入相关群组之类的，突然某天呢就有人找他合作拍片宣传，当下他当然是开心的不得了啊，只是后来才发现用中文介绍好像有点难度这个，但因为他本身就对这很有兴趣嘛，而且把那些中文的专有名词学好之后，他就也可以跟他那一些不会讲英文的朋友讨论区块链，所以何乐而不为，对不对？那在节目尾声的部分，马丁提到说，因为区块链这科技发展的实在是太快了，你很难真的去 follow 每个趋势，但是他又真的是发自内心的很期待看到未来区块链像以前那个龟速网络一样，在往后几年的突破，所以他就要求自己一定要每天都去追读相关新闻，然后也是就是要去好好磨练自己这些相关术语的中文说法，才可以跟讲中文的朋友们互相讨论互相交流。这句 stay informed 大家可以学起来。好， informed 它有了解情况的意思，那 stay informed 表达的就是像马丁那样不断去追踪 follow 区块链发展，随时掌握最新资讯这样。好啦，那希望各位有从今天的内容学到一些东西，找时间也可以去看看马丁拍的宣传影片哦。
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG, NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7 and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
好啦，今天的节目就到这边告一段落啦，感谢各位的收听，别忘了订阅我们的 Spotify 还有 YouTube 频道哦。那喜欢我们节目的话，也要记得到 Instagram 到 IG 上追踪我们哦。如果各位有什么其他问题是想要问来宾的，也请欢迎在底下留言告诉我们，我们一定会想办法帮你问到手。好啦，那就下周在空中相会咯，拜拜。